So I'm having a chat with Zak Abel. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah. How
Good.
are you? How are you doing?
Good. Yeah, not too bad. Thanks so much. So, big news is that you've got your new album on the way, coming out at the end of August. For those who can't wait to hear it, what can they expect to hear from the record?
So it's kind of a collection of songs that I've been working on over the past 3 years. The album is called Love Over Fear, and yeah, if you guys have heard any of the songs that have come out so far, such as Woman, Dance with You, or What Love Is, it's in a similar world to that. Um, yeah, and I hope
Yeah,
you enjoy it.
good, good. And the most recent track of yours, which you've just mentioned, is Woman that we've been playing. Tell us a little bit about that single as well.
Oh, firstly, thank you so much for playing it.
Pleasure.
The single is about, it's kind of a tribute to someone who um, is really, really important to me. She's kind of been there for me through all my ups and downs. Um, and yeah, just someone that I love very much. And yeah, it's kind of like a love song to her, really.
Good, good. And it's coming up to 6 years since your debut record. What was the reason behind so many years between records?
Wow, yeah, that's crazy. I think just a combination of uh being in and out of record deals,
Hmm.
the pandemic, and then also just being a picky musician who wants the album to be a certain way. But yeah, I'm very very grateful to now be able to release it and finally let my fans,
Mm.
you know, have something I've been working on for so long.
Yeah, most definitely. And people, well, your fans will get to hear you playing these tracks live because you're off on a headline tour at starting at the end of October. I bet you can't wait to be on the road again.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one. It's the biggest tour I've ever done. I think I'm hitting like 23 cities around Europe. I'm playing in a lot of the UK,
Hmm.
and yeah, I would love to see anyone who's listening now there. And yeah, it's going to be a really really amazing time.
Yeah, yeah, I can well imagine. And I'd like to talk a little bit about the writing side of things. So for you, how do tracks tend to start off? Is it a lyric, a riff, a melody? What works for you best?
On this album, most of the songs have actually come from a title first, um, or like a song idea, like I'd like to write a song about this or that,
Hmm.
and then kind of working backwards from there. Um, I used to do a lot more kind of like jamming and then just kind of mumbling, mumbling sounds, and then saying, maybe this mumble sounds a bit like the word tuna, and then making songs about tuna, and doing it that way around. Whereas this way around, it's the title first and then the melody.
Hmm. So going forward, do you think you'll continue to write in that manner, or do you think you might mix it up again and go back, or try something else?
I think I'll for the time being anyway stick with being intentional about the subject or the
Mm.
topic that I'm writing about. Um, I find, otherwise you just kind of there's been so many examples where I've written really great melodies and really good like verse lyrics, and then you're like, wait, what is this song about? And it ends up in the song graveyard. So
Yeah.
I try to kind of start with the end first and then work backwards from there. That seems to be a much more fun
Mm.
and good way to write for me.
Good, good. And you mentioned your song Graveyard. You must have written more than what's made it onto this record. What do you do with those now? Do you consider them again for the future, or are they completely gone and you've bin them off?
No, no, I haven't written a song called Graveyard. I'm saying if they end up in the song graveyard, so
Yes.
where all songs go to die.
Yeah. So
Um,
the songs that are in that graveyard, what happens with those?
Nothing. They're dead.
And
Yeah, but you never know. Like sometimes you can salvage bits of them,
hmm,
like melodies that you're like, you know what? That was actually a really good melody, and now I know what I want to write about. Maybe I could use that melody for this song.
hmm.
Um, Yeah, I ideally no ideas ever wasted, but unfortunately sometimes they are.
Yeah.
And I have many, many songs that live and die in the song graveyard.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I think after brainstorming now, I think you should write a song about a graveyard. See what
I
happens.
I think I think I might do that. I think I might do that. You've inspired me.
I look forward to hearing it. I can't wait for that one.
You get 5%
Yes, I'm
right
holding you to
there.
that.
Yeah,
Cool.
please
Uh,
do.
and when you go into the studio to record your music, obviously you have the demos done, but how do you then work it from a demo to a finished track? How does that work for you?
Um, I think that's mainly in the production. Most of my vocals are the same demo vocal that I've done literally on the day that I've written it.
Hmm.
Um, some people call that demoitis, where people get, you get attached to the first
Yeah.
version of something. But I do feel like the time when I'm most connected to the song is when I've just written it, and that's why I tend to keep the demo vocal on the majority of my records. Um, I think that I can't remember who said it, but there's like open creativity and then closed creativity. So open creativity is like everything is, oh, yes, and why don't we try this? Oh, and yes, why don't we try this? And I'd say that, the writing process is more like that. And then when it comes to like actually making it into a record, it's closed creativity. So it's taking away stuff
Hmm.
from what's on the record. It's kind of, you have to be quite ruthless and brutal with what stays on the recording. Um, and yeah, so it's kind of a different mindset, but also a fun one.
Hmm.
I actually really enjoy the production and mixing side of things as well.
Do you try to keep things when you're doing the production side of things quite raw and original then to the demo, or is there a lot of little tinkering and little bits here and there?
Depends on the song, really. Like on the first album, there was a song which was kind of more like a soul hip hop inspired beat. Like when I wrote it and recorded it, there's a song called Awakening, and then on the actual album, it turned into a completely different vibe. We stripped away almost everything other than the vocal,
Hmm.
and then yeah, changed the production into more kind of like Afro Caribbean production, um, and that was really fun. So it can be, sometimes you stay very true to the demo and just add a few little twinkly moments.
Mhm.
Other times you rip it apart and dress it up in a new suit.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And having a look at your back catalogue, you've worked with a number of DJs being featured on their tracks, also having them on some of yours, but there's
Yeah.
not been many of those in recent years. Do you think that's something that you might jump back into doing and working alongside some DJs to produce some more dance tracks?
I actually just put out a record with a guy called Alan Walker.
Hmm.
This was last week, and it's a song called "Endless Summer," which is a big dance tune, and it actually just went. It was the biggest song on TikTok in the world last week, which
Wow.
is crazy because I've never had anything like that before, uh, and I really enjoy it. It's so different to what I would typically do on my own
Hmm.
music. Like my own stuff's more inspired by like Paolo Nutini and Adele and Maverick Sabre and like that kind of world.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, I also really enjoyed writing dance songs because they're really really fun to perform, and I love that world as well. So I try to keep one foot in the dance world when it's the right collaboration.
Yeah, most definitely. And you must have some aspirations of things you want to achieve as an artist. What's one thing that you have to do in the music world?
I really want to win a Grammy for an album.
Yeah.
That'd be really really cool. I've never had a number one single for my own music, um, especially in the UK. I'd love to achieve that. Um, Also, in terms of venues, I really want to play. I really want to play Royal Albert Hall
Hmm.
for my own music. I've played there for like there was a DJ Spoonie garage like orchestral thing. But I'd
Hmm.
love to perform there for my own music. Um, and I'd also love to tour America. I've never played a single show of my own in
Wow.
America. Um, honestly, like that. What's cool about music is that you can. There's so many things you can be aiming for, so you can always have something to work towards. Um, and yeah, to be honest, I'm just really enjoying the process at the moment, and I can't wait for people to hear this album and to play it on tour as well. It's been a long time coming, so yeah, just excited for that.
Good. Excellent. Well, Zach, it's been a pleasure having a chat with you.
You too.